Don't worry, I'm not going to waste your time like Dr. Stephen Greer wasted all of our time talking about this groundbreaking UFO disclosure. I'm just going to show y'all the clip.
Footage that was never before seen until last night's special report, going viral today. Shocking claims about an alleged UFO crash retrieval program. And for years, people like David Grush and Lou Elizondo have alleged the existence of such a program. But now this decorated Air Force veteran says he knows it's true because he was a part of it.
Everyone's got an opinion on this, so it seems. As you say, there's no visible means of propulsion here, no wings, no fuselage, no engines. And look, if this is some sort of reconnaissance device, for example, the Pentagon could very quickly put this whole story to bed. What you're looking at in this footage is X. But so far as I'm aware, they've not said that. So the mystery continues, but we still, the picture only tells us so much. What we really need now is more information. Where was this picked up? Where was it dropped off? Where is it now?
I don't give a where it was picked up, where it was dropped off, or where it's at now. An egg? Look, that's all y'all had to show us was a goddamn egg. Look, excuse my language. I mean, I'm muting everything anyway, but still, y'all hyped us up over an egg. That man sat there for 45 minutes talking about a bunch of nothing at this point, because what did it matter if all y'all had to show us was an egg? Lord have mercy. I ain't never been more disappointed in my life. I'm so glad I opted out of doing a live reaction to that daggone disclosure video, because that would have, I had to fast forward through it. I literally fast forward to the end of the video so that I could see what they were talking about, only to be extremely disappointed. Look, hopefully I don't disappoint you all that bad in this video, because we're going to do how we usually do, is to look at accounts, video footage of people that captured things, UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena in the sky around the world. Some possibly real, some possibly fake. And the ones that I deem to be all the way fake, I'm definitely going to let it be known, because in my research, it's about 70% of people that will see fake footage of a possible UAP and still believe it to be real. But I'm going to point out some of the nuances that stand out to me that make me believe that some of these clips are indeed fake. With that being said, let's begin the show. Super short clip that we got here, but this is an alleged UAP sighting, Elden, Missouri. This just yesterday. Today's the January the 20th as I filmed this video. Look at this. Looks like an orb to me more than a UAP, but yeah, technically an orb is a UAP because we have yet to be able to truly identify what these things actually are. Possible drone sighting in New York, New Jersey, just at the end of the year. Look at that there. This is something. This is why I be getting window seats when I'm on airplanes. Because I be wanting to look out the window and see if I can spot stuff in the sky. I have yet to see anything, unfortunately. But I'm optimistic. One day I will. Look at that. I'll take a drone at this point. Give me something.
Hey, TikTok, I'm in Boston, downtown Croydon. Check this out, man. Satellite just fell out of...
Pause. Hold on. What did that say? CSA ASC?
Just fell out of the sky. Satellite just fell out of the sky, y'all, in Boston, downtown Crossing. Y'all spread the word, man. Satellite just fell out of the sky. OG said it fell right out the sky, y'all. Right here, I got it. It's right here. Look, check it out. There it is, y'all. Canada. Canada. Look at that, y'all. There it is. Look at that.
Is that what's happening in Canada? Y'all can't keep y'all satellites in the sky, in the space? Because this thing done crashed this today. Somebody, what's this, a Nissan Altima? Yeah, somebody, you look, they going to be reaching out to y'all real soon, because y'all owe them a car, because this car is absolutely totaled. Absolutely totaled. Goodness gracious. This is a small little satellite y'all got to be up in the sky. I would think y'all would have something bigger than this, if it is even a satellite, because what does this do? So many of you guys were sending this to me and sharing this with me. And I've been looking at it so closely to determine if it is indeed real or not. If it's real, then obviously this is one of the most incredible sights that we've ever seen. But if it's fake, then they did a phenomenal job of faking this. The clouds look real. The city below looks real. It doesn't look AI. But it also doesn't mean that it's not faked as well. Hold on. How we got two cities down here? This must be AI. Because how you got Cloud City, that don't sit right with me. But nonetheless, I was looking at the light reflections on the clouds and whatnot, and that's what makes it appear to be almost real. Because of how well the light reflects off of certain objects and things. But like I said before, it's so important that I show you all clips like this, because so many people will view stuff like this and perceive it to be real without getting a second opinion first. And now it's time to segue over into the conspiracy theories that have been popping up in my radar. Let's watch. Banned video from 40 years ago shows how long it's been going on. How long what's been going on.
What the CIA and the Defense Department have been doing for a long time as far as using us as guinea pigs for mind control and other types of horrible things they have in mind for us and the rest of the people in the world. What are some of them?
Well, it started out basically with the CIA doing experimentations on their own men to discover if they could get rid of agents who were going to quit the department and still had classified information. So they utilized different types of drugs and pain and hypnosis and electric shock to try and get the guys to forget. Then they also did experimentations to using different chemicals to see if you can induce a person to commit a crime or induce him to do that or to do this. Of course, the CIA claimed that it didn't carry it through. The documentation we got was actually that they did that. Then we came across the overall project called MK Ultra. Its earlier code name was Artichoke, and that included 149 sub-projects. Those sub-projects range from what I just described to open-air testing in the United States, the experimentation on prisoners, experimentation on soldiers, experimentation on college students.
Would these people know they were being experimented on and gave their approval?
No.
I mean, can we even call it conspiracy theories if everything that she just stated was proven to be real? Like, they have the documents showing where they did proceed with so many of these experiments and procedures. Like, the fact that they would take agents that were ready to opt out of proceeding with following through with whatever it is that they had going on and going back home to their families and deciding, okay, we're going to drug them and run experiments on them to see if we can get them to forget certain information that they withhold. Huh? Men in Black much? And then the part about MK Ultra, did y'all forget she said open air testing in the United States? And then at the end, when the guy that's interviewing her asked, well, were these people notified? No, they was not. Oh man, America is something else. It's something else. I feel like we all under some degree of mind control.
So in that last video, I didn't really show it, but I put my hand on those and stopped it. I stopped the vibration. It actually took about 20 seconds. It felt through the pipes as if though there was a dozer or something driving by, and there is none of that. I'm here by myself. And after letting go of it, after a few minutes, it started up on its own again. And you can tell it's not really windy. And there's a slight breeze.
Now, this is something that's been coming up on my radar a lot lately. People out here that have land, that have these sort of fences, and them going out and noticing something that they never noticed before, which is this heavy vibration happening. I've seen a number of videos like this now, and they don't know what to make of it. There's like, they don't feel enough of a vibration coming from the ground. They don't see that the wind is heavy enough to be causing these shakes in these poles and fences, but at the same time, they can't pinpoint exactly where it's coming from.
everything that happened on the news today, but it's going to be simplified in 60 seconds. This is blowing my mind, but shocking footage is now showing people intentionally lighting fires in LA amid the devastating wildfire crisis there obviously already is. So as LA is continuing to battle the wildfires, a video has now gone viral online showing a group of people that are standing by in awe of what appears to be a man-made bonfire. Somebody that lives in the area posted and said that people are lighting fires in otherwise non-burning urban areas of LA, and they saw that happen firsthand at this address. Basically, people are starting small fires in areas that are not burning, and obviously with the wind warning and the fire crisis there is, this could cause bigger fires. This Tesla owner just turned his Cybertruck into a giant mirror, and it's left enthusiasts divided. Basically, this is what the Cybertruck looks like, and the reason why people don't like it is because if people are driving near you, they're not going to be able to tell how close they are to you because your whole thing is reflective. This woman is now issuing an urgent warning after finding out an iOS feature that's making her sleep through her alarms. Basically, with iOS 17, this is an attention-aware feature, and whenever you look at your phone can tell that you're looking at it so it won't blare your alarm. But it's glitching out and it's thinking you're looking at your screen when you're not. She said that if this is happening to you, the only way to fix it so far is to just go in your settings and turn the attention-aware feature off. I give you these news roundups every day, so make sure you add me and come back to me tomorrow.
Wait, people are setting fires after the fires in LA? What in the world could they be possibly setting these fires for? Unless it's for some sort of insurance claim, which, shit, I don't know if they heard, but that might not go as well as they have planned. As you all know, I will source link the videos to everything that we're watching in today's video down in the description box below. But good God, 2025 is off to a rocky start. Like some people have said, it feels like we've been here for a few months already. This don't feel like the beginning of the year. But at the same time, it's moving so fast. How is it already January 20th? We're already almost through this month? Fuck.
2025 has only been going for 2 weeks, and already a series of very unfortunate events have unfolded. It feels like a goddamn horror movie, so here's all the terrible things that have happened in 2025. In 60 seconds. 50,000 acres of Los Angeles have burned to the ground in the worst wildfires California has ever seen, leaving over 100,000 people to evacuate. Meanwhile, the other half of the country is in the worst snowstorm recorded in over a decade. Something's in the air, and it might be climate change, with half the country burning and half the country frozen. The app that provides $3.2 billion to our dying economy and employs thousands is now being taken away from us, along with our First Amendment rights. So the only thing Americans could do was launch a petty rebellion and go hand our data directly to China on the TikTok dupe Red Note. And the only person who seems like they can save us from that just became a convicted felon on January 10th. And then 10 days later, will become the president again. And I don't know which photo he looks more guilty in. But he's also talking about the first thing he's doing in office is renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and then buying Canada and making it part of America, and giving his best friend Elon Musk an office in the White House. You know, when Elon Musk isn't busy making sure his rabid inventions aren't exploding in public on January 1st, 2025. Doesn't all this feel like an oligarchy? In Joe Biden's farewell address, he actually warned the country that a bunch of billionaires are about to have all the power in the world and we're in danger.
I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern. An oligarchy is taking shape in America, and that's the dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people.
Apple agreed to pay out $95 million because Siri was caught recording our private conversations.
Wait a minute, I thought it was TikTok that was the problem, not Siri. So you telling me y'all mad about an app on the phone, but it's the phone itself that's the issue? That's crazy.
Finally, on January 15th, the ceasefire deal was reached to end the genocide in Gaza, which is the bare fucking minimum after 500 days of this. On January 7th, there was a huge 7.1 magnitude earthquake in Tibet, China. Meanwhile, in America, in just 2 weeks, there's been hundreds of victims of mass shootings in states like California, Florida, Texas, Nebraska, and more. There's also been an extremely eerie and tragic uptick in plane crashes all around the world. All thanks to the largest plane manufacturing company, Boeing, that has reduced the quality and safety of their aircrafts in turn of profits. Luigi, I'm sending out the signal. Tragically, Aubrey Plaza's husband, Jeff Baena, passed away by ending his own life. In less important news, the A-list elite Hollywood couple we all thought we could love and were the nice guy have been completely ended and exposed for being the exact opposite. Hey, at least Tom and Zendaya got engaged. If this is an omen, we're in for a very intense 2025, and I'll be reporting every piece of pop culture and world news all along the way, so follow for updates on whatever the hell happens this year.
Okay, so California's on fire, but we have like the best fire department in the world, right? We should be able to contain this, right? I mean, we did, but the mayor cut the fire department's budget last year, so not enough personnel for this one. What? Well, I mean, we don't need everybody. We just need a certain amount to spray the area with water. Oh my God, I love that you say it. It's so funny because the state actually depleted its water reserves a couple months ago, so the firefighters literally don't have enough water to fight the fires with. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. We're in a drought, and so we depleted our water reserves? Well, at least the people that have fire insurance will be getting some money, right? Ooh, this is awkward. Okay, don't get mad at me, but insurance companies like State Farm has not been allowing renewal of fire insurance policies since 2 months ago, and it's been canceling a lot of contracts. So let me get this straight. 2 months before the fire, the state depleted its water reserves. Insurance companies have been canceling this fire insurance policy. It's like it's Maui all over again, but it's not like the state needs to free up a whole bunch of land to open up a new smart city infrastructure, right? Because we haven't announced anything like that, did we? The LA district might have announced plans to set up a smart city by 2028.
Yeah.
So it's like Maui all over again.
Yeah.
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 Well, you know, I know they were messing with the water, letting reserves go for one reason or another. They've been doing that a while. California has a lot of problems that sort of baffle the mind as far as why they do things. And then in the events like this, you sort of look, well, is it on purpose? Which, it's an insane thing to think. But one begins to ponder whether or not there is a purpose in mind. What could it be, you know? I don't know. Do they want the state empty? I don't know.
Shout out to Nicole on Instagram for sending me this very, very interesting video last night. Let's watch.
So I feel like I just noticed something very interesting on this live cam, and I don't know what to do with this information, so I'm bringing it here. So I've been watching all of these live cams pretty consistently since the fire started, but especially since I evacuated, because this is like my insight into what's actually going on there. And when I am watching these, I usually only go back like 15 minutes to an hour, because you can like toggle the time that you go back. There it is right there. You can toggle the time that you go back and get like a time lapse of like the fire progressing. So yeah, usually only 15 minutes to an hour, but today I am not there, so I wanted to go back a bit farther. So I went back 2-3 hours on Topanga Canyon 1, and I just want to know, like, can anybody out there tell me why it looks like there's a giant magnifying glass going through Topanga Canyon, and why the camera cuts right after this shit starts coming through the canyon? Oh, and then we're looking in the opposite direction as soon as it comes through. Like, ooh, what is that? What's going on here? Let's get a closer look. And, you know, I will say maybe I'm not from California. Maybe I am not familiar with, like, the land management that y'all have going on here, but, like, and I know that's not the sun, okay? Like, never in my life have I seen the sun look like that.
Absolutely look like a magnifying glass. And if you haven't used a magnifying glass as a kid, because I know we got a different generation that we're in, but if you take a magnifying glass, let the sun hit it at just the right angle, put a piece of paper or a leaf or wood down below it, because some people use this to start up little fires for campfires or whatnot in the woods. It won't take very long before you start to see a little smoke action, and then you will see the flame. I've never seen a live stream cut out like that. It cut out as if it wasn't an actual live stream, but edited video. What kind of mess? Nah, something's weird going on, man. And ooh, I'm not liking this.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but this dude is, and it's very interesting. Watch this video.
So the California wildfires just happened to line up perfectly with the potential high-speed rail system that they are planning to put in for these smart cities. This is sort of reminding me of something here, guys. Remember in 2019 when Melbourne, Australia had their wildfires as well? It just happened to line up again with the proposed high-speed railway. You have Smart LA 2028 proposed in December of 2020 with the plan to build a smart city. However, you can't really build a smart city on top of another city. You'd have to somehow demolish the initial foundation. Same thing that happened in Maui with the smart city proposal from March 30th to April 1st of 2023. And then the wildfires take place on August 8th to 11th. Now, what sort of wildfires demolish everything in sight, but leave the trees and the leaves still intact? I mean, like everything destroyed to the ground, yet this bush unfazed. It's crazy that these major insurance companies would pull their policies months before this happened. It's also crazy that the fire hydrants didn't have any water in them, just like Maui. And they just happened to pull $17.6 million in funding from the LA Fire Department 7 months before.
Coincidence? I think not. Allegedly, you know, gotta say it. But nah, this just lines up too perfectly for it to be a coincidence. But we gonna say it's a coincidence, all right? Because, you know, I have to or whatever.
Something extremely weird is going on with the weather, and not just for us, and also there's weird sounds coming from the sky. Weird sounds and weird things. So let me preface this video by saying I have no idea what's going on, but I do know one thing. Yesterday I was outside with my wife, and it was freezing outside. It's been in the low 20s, we got rain, the atmosphere was like 30 degrees, and no snow came. That was not the weird part though. We have a cat's water bowl outside, and the entire time it was out there for days, it had never frozen. If you feed stray animals, you may know what I'm talking about because it always freezes and you always have to replace it. So what's going on now where the animal's water outside will not freeze in the 20s? Again, for 5 days straight, it's been like 20-something degrees and it did not freeze. Much like this video right here, it belongs to this person right there. So they had their water outside for 5 hours or something like that before the snow even came, and somehow the water just did not freeze. The freezing temperature of water is anything below 32 degrees. We had this issue last year when a whole bunch of water ball companies and their water would, for some reason, not freeze. So yeah, we got some questions about this. We're about to get into the things falling from the sky and the sounds in the sky and all that, but hold on.
Open and shake.
Alright, so that's one thing. You know, we thought it was incredibly weird. It didn't snow. It had been in the 20s and the low 30s when it was raining. And apparently others' waters wasn't freezing as well. Now this guy found this.
Hold on. Before he continues, whatever he's about to say, I'm gonna call cap right now. Cause what is this? This don't look like what fell out the sky. This don't look like the surrounding snow around it. This look like some BS that he's trying to put off as something weird in regards to how the snow is acting. I'm calling cap already, but let's listen.
Block of something that was in the snow. As that can be seen right here for the full video.
Check this out. Then look at it. It's not even melting like snow. It's like doughy. See that?
So new question. Why is doughy clumps falling from the sky with the snow? A whole lot of people are coming and say, it's normal. Look, I've been alive for 30 years, you guys. We all have lived the same life you have. Half the world is under flames right now, and people are like, oh yeah, that happens all the time. But wait, it gets even deeper. So 2 days ago, I kept hearing explosions in the sky. And I was sitting here like, what is going on? There was no thunderstorm, no clouds, just explosions going off. I figured maybe it was my neighbor, but it wasn't. Then I come across this video where they're in North Carolina, I'm in South Carolina, and they all had explosions in the sky too. Even the comments were talking about all the explosions in the sky and police officers not knowing what it was.
What? What?
So yeah, I just have a question. What the heck is going on? Somehow, every single day gets weirder and weirder and weirder. And by the way, with this platform seeming to be going, I want you guys to know, they don't treat us that good over here. Which is why 1 year ago I made this place my main, and we're also kicking butt over on this place. It's really not the end of the world, guys, and I'm working with a lot of y'all's favorite creators to get them established over there. If y'all just knew what most of us creators go through over here, let me know what you think below.
How do you hide an alien airship? January 10th, 2:15 a.m. California City. There are no clouds anywhere. This is next to an airplane graveyard. What in the world? So the person filming this believes that this could be potentially hiding an aircraft in the sky. Whatever it is, it's an interesting phenomenon that I am not familiar with seeing. This is crazy. Within the last couple of years, there have been so many different sightings of strange activity happening in the sky that we hadn't seen before. It's not to say that, oh yeah, this stuff has always been happening, because it just has. No. Social media has been around long enough for us to have seen way more of this stuff than we are seeing within the last 2 to 3 years. Y'all know about 2 or 3 years ago, I predicted this stuff. I predicted that there would be an uptick of strange sightings in the skies, as well as some informative information coming out and being released in regards to the true existence of extraterrestrial life forms. Now, that disclosure did a great deal of disappointment to millions of people around the world, because all of us thought that we were finally going to get some definitive evidence of extraterrestrial life form here on this planet. But it doesn't mean that there still isn't hope for us to get that information. We just got to be a bit more patient now. But at the same time, none of us trust the government, so who knows what to think.
These are the craziest discoveries we made in 2024. Starting in England, where amateur archaeologists unearthed one of the largest Roman dodecahedrons ever found. Till this day, though, what they were used for still remains a mystery. In Iran, they discovered the world's oldest lipstick, dating back 4,000 years. An Italian junk dealer discovered that the old painting he had hung up at his family-owned restaurant was actually an original Picasso, now worth over $6.6 million. In Botswana, the world's second largest diamond ever was unearthed, and we were gifted with this clip. Back to Earth, a scientific expedition in Peru discovered 27 new species, including an amphibious mouse and a blob-headed fish. Scientists discovered an association between low testosterone and high anxiety. Japan discovered the skeleton panda sea squirt, which, for such a random name, is somehow the perfect description. And how could we forget? The evolution of life on Earth and even space was thrown into question after the discovery of dark oxygen on the floor of the Pacific Ocean.
Dark oxygen? This is my first time hearing about this. What is dark oxygen? That don't sound healthy at all.
You're saying that NASA figured out
Yes.
that we're actually living in these sort of civilizational cycles
Yes.
that we really have no control over. They're kind of these hard resets.
Exactly.
Maybe we're headed towards one right now.
And in order
they're
to
hiding it.
And in order to cover it up, they blocked all knowledge of the binary star companion so that that whole cycle would not be understood.
That's insane.
Is it though?
I don't know. I mean, I need to
If there was an
indulge into
asteroid,
the details.
and I'm not saying this in an apocalyptic way, because I would actually, the next part of this is we should talk about how I believe we may be able to prevent that.
Okay.
But what I mean is, if governments knew about a giant asteroid coming towards the Earth or a comet, would they tell everybody?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Widespread panic.
Sure.
Complete society collapsing.
So you're of the opinion that this dead star is headed towards the sun now?
Yes.
And so, do you have, based on your
cycles of what we see in ice cores throughout Antarctica and Greenland of a consistency?
And what's your model of how much time we have left based on that?
We're right in it right now.
So,
very interesting how consciousness seems to rise at the same time that the sun starts to emit more energy. And this gets into, again, lost civilizations, what they knew.
I don't think that it's by any chance or coincidence that people are becoming more aware of what's happening in the universe. When I say the universe, I don't mean just in the stars and the skies above, but I mean throughout life, like everything. We're noticing these things that don't seem to be what they're trying to make us believe they are. It's like we're awake and they want us to be asleep.
They found the entrance to Atlantis. Take a look at this. This is the gates to Atlantis, the underground world. And this is where the mer people live and the gods and stuff. This is Atlantis entrance.
My dude need to put some bass in his voice. But anyway, I done came across a couple of his videos and I'm more than sure he be capping. He be coming across stuff that he be seeing and he just be making up some theories. Like, this is Atlantis. This is where the mer people live and all the underground water aquafina people live at. Yo, all his videos are like this. That just be funny, man.
So the Sphinx is like a gate.
It's like a gateway. It's guarding an entire subterranean area underneath it. We know that there are 4 entrances. 4. Underneath the Sphinx. There's one under the left paw, There's one on the top of the head, and you can see it. It's capped off on top. There's one on the back side, and then there's another one on the other sides of the Sphinx.
Has anybody gone down there and tried to verify?
Well, this is the story in the 90s when they found these massive voids. And it's not just under the Sphinx, it's under the Great Pyramids as well. They all connect. And the Egyptian authorities came through and they boarded up the front of the pause with boards, literal boards, and blocked it off. And then what they did is very clever. They ended up drilling down to prove to the public that there was no voids, but they purposely went where there wasn't entrances, and they tricked people. The whole front of the Sphinx is now boarded up.
I'm pretty sure when I say this, I'm not the only one that feels this way. But growing up, I believed and was taught that these relics that were left behind for us to discover, for us to gain an understanding of a life once lived. And for them to want to hide that information from us just goes to show you that there's some great information in there, life-changing, life-altering, futuristic, even though it happened in the past, stuff that we can't figure out today within those relics, within those tombs, within those pyramids, but they want to keep it from us. And why do they want to keep it from us? I believe that they want to be able to use the information that they acquire and take credit for whatever inventions or nuances that comes from it, but take all credit for these future developments that they clearly taken from the past.
This is gonna ruffle some feathers. Have y'all seen a couple that's going viral for moving to Iceland? Politics aside, I think they're onto something. They're going viral for exposing the perks of moving to Iceland. They go on to describe the job opportunities there and how 80K is the minimum wage. But the real eye catcher is that they're not living paycheck to paycheck like they would be when they were in the States. And the real eye catcher is that the minimum wage is 80K, but housing is only $910 for a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't think you can find that anywhere outside of Alabama. And then they start talking about the food quality and how everything is organic. However, they do mention that it's not as delicious as the States. But we all know the reason why it's delicious in the States is the preservatives and all the added sugars and salts. Another reason is they go into great detail about the wilderness and how everything out there is so fresh, clean, the water, the air. They just feel good when they're in nature.
Everything that he said about Iceland is stuff that we heard in recent times about other places around the world, specifically China. How China has a livable wage too. Like they earn a minimum of $50,000 a year, but the cost of living makes sense to how much they're earning. So there's no homeless people out there. It's like, man, hold on. Clearly America ain't doing something right. Everyone online is saying that, no, we actually live in a third world country with first world prices and problems. I see it now. I can see it because, man, it's expensive here.
You guys, I finally cracked the code on the 2 crazy conspiracy theories that Luigi Mangione left for us to figure out, and I put it all together. The theory about the Monopoly money in the bag, and the theory about the number 286 connect, and I found out what he was trying to tell us. If you need a reminder, on December 4th, a masked man shot at point-blank range United Healthcare Group CEO Brian Thompson, unaliving him. And surprisingly, very rich Ivy League valedictorian genius Luigi Mangione was detained for the crime, but not before leaving behind a weird trail of hints for us. First, like some cartoonish villain, he left behind a backpack filled with Monopoly money. Why point our direction to Monopoly? He also made sure his social medias were carefully left in place to be investigated, almost like a crime scene. His Twitter header was a random Pokemon, a photo of his back surgery that went terrible, and maybe a photo of his athletic life that the healthcare system took away from him. Now pay attention to how many times the numbers 286 appear. Pokemon have numbers, and Burloom is Pokemon number 286. And Burloom is nobody's favorite Pokemon. No one would have that in their header. How many posts does he have on his Twitter? 286. A few days later, Luigi was eventually caught in a McDonald's exactly 286 miles away from the crime scene. But why go so far? Because he allegedly fled from New York City on Highway 286 to Pennsylvania. But why 286? Because he wants to bring attention to Insurance Denial Code 286, which basically talks about when an insurance claim is denied by a healthcare group and never appealed in time so the patient suffers. Even Proverb 286 says, better a poor man who walk in his integrity than a rich man who is crooked in his ways. National Insurance Day is even the 20th day of June. But here's the craziest part, you guys. I was investigating, trying to figure out how the number 286 connects to Monopoly. So I blatantly asked ChatGPT, and they said the total number of items sold in a Monopoly box for you to be able to play the game is added up to 286 pieces. What? And the total number of blocks in that game is 286. And if we look closer at this Monopoly board, do you remember how we went from New York to Highway 286 to Pennsylvania and then to jail? On this specific side of the Monopoly board, that is the exact route he took. New York, Pennsylvania, jail. So myself, along with a lot of people, think he went to jail on purpose, and I think the rest of the board could be clues for other people playing, because as the quote goes, no one plays Monopoly alone. How do we know who he's playing with or colluding with on this crime? Guess the specific number of people his cousin is following on Twitter. Nino Mangione is following 286 people. Will he be his get out of jail free card? I feel like there's more to all of this. This means something, and I'll keep further investigating, so follow along for more of this conspiracy.
These are the kinds of conspiracy theories that I live for. 286 clearly meant something. He was found 286 miles away from the crime scene. That was intentional. He was trying to get arrested there. Man, that's crazy. I would have never known any of this stuff. Shout out to this creator for doing his homework and finding all this information and piecing it together. That was cool.
People wanted to see what was inside the Atlantis entrance. And if you take a look, it's just a bunch of sleeping sharks guarding the way to the door where the mermaids and merman people are. But they are currently being sent to HR because they were caught sleeping on the job guarding the gates to Atlantis. And since they have been guarding, like, in trouble, they're getting sent to HR to get fired. And now this is just a big cold case for them. And yeah.
Y'all see what I mean? The man just be sitting here coming up with stuff. The sharks are guarding the gates to Atlantis, but they all went to HR because they were caught sleeping on the job. This man's a fool.
This is wild. For the first time in 144 years, humanity's biggest gathering has officially begun. It's called the This is wild. For the first time in 144 years, humanity's biggest gathering has officially begun. It's called the Mahakumela Festival. And over the next 45 days, roughly 400 million people will come here and bathe in this river as part of a religious Hindu tradition. That's more than the entire population of the United States, and the event is so large that it can be seen from space. It's believed that washing yourself in the sacred river will cleanse you from your sins, purify...
Cleanse you? More like give you everything that everybody else there got.
Your soul, and free you from the cycle of birth and death. And although the festival takes place once every 12 years, this one, known as the Maha or Grand Kumela, only happens once every 144 years. But to welcome what's expected to be the biggest crowd in its history to a city that's only built for 6 million, it takes years of planning, including 400 kilometers of new road, 200 kilometers of new sewage lines, 13,000 train services, 160,000 tents, 40,000 police, 15,000 sanitation workers.
160,000 tents. That's not enough.
150,000 toilets, and the list.
150,000 toilets definitely are not enough. They definitely about to be polluting this water.
Goes on.
Yeah. That's crazy. I can't take no more. I think that's enough. We're gonna end this video right here. Don't forget, send me clips if you guys find some good stuff that y'all think would make for interesting content. We will react to it right here on this channel. You guys can find me everywhere across all social media platforms. The name is the same, Artofkickz, ARTOFKICKZ. Send me those clips, and if they're good enough, they will absolutely make it onto the show. But anyway, leave your thoughts, comments, and opinions about this video down below. And I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. See ya. YouTube said that you guys might enjoy one of these two videos. Click to find out if that's true.